Okay, so let's get comfortable in your seat. So it's always good just to kind of get your feet on the ground, have your feet firmly on the ground, maybe like a right angle between your thighs and your shins, so you have nice stability. And then maybe just kind of rock back and forth a little bit on your chair, just kind of feeling that shift in the balance. And then you'll find kind of a place in the center where you can rest and just feel like you're balanced. And maybe inhaling just forward a little bit and exhaling back a little bit, just with a long spine. And then again, just letting your spine kind of rest, your head kind of rest right over your shoulders resting right over your hips, and allow the eyes to gently close. And just notice how your body feels, and knowing that you can always make some adjustments. If you want to move your feet a little bit, if you want to move your hips a little bit, just always knowing you can change and adjust. But just noticing your body, notice the feet on the earth, notice your hips, your shoulders, everything in between. Just doing a little scan to see what's happening right now with your amazing body. It gets us through the world every day, holds us for it all. And just bring compassion to your body and love. And then noticing your breath. Just notice exactly how your breath is right now in this moment, knowing that that's exactly right, exactly as it should be. Just noticing the length of the inhale and the exhale. Noticing the qualities of the breath. Is your breath short and choppy, or is it smooth? There's no right or wrong answer, just noticing what you're noticing today in this moment. Notice where your breath is in your body. Is it in your ribs, in your belly? Is it high up in the lungs, the front, the back? Notice where your breath is breathing today. You can also notice your thoughts, notice your mind. Are there lots of thoughts racing around in there, or is it kind of quiet today? Are you thinking about the past? Are you worried about the future? Just notice what's happening with the thoughts. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of noticing right where you are today in this breath, in this moment. From this place, maybe allow the breath to come into the belly a little bit, just softening the breath as you breathe. Your body breathes your breath breathes your body. Slowing things down. As you breathe, I'm going to read a poem called Raindrop by Dana Faulds. Today, I am a raindrop on the surface of the sea, distinct but for an instant, then one with all that is or ever will be. Allowing the eyes to flutter open. Let the hands kind of float out to the side, maybe in like the shape of the T if that feels good, and let your shoulders drop away from the ears. Let one arm float down and the other one float up. So as far up as feels comfortable. And then we're slowly going to let this arm that's hanging down get like heavier and heavier and just kind of pull us over to the side. So this arm stays up from the shoulder. We're not going to curve the back in. We're just going to keep that open. Beautiful. So just a little curve to the spine and breathing in through this like right side of your body. Just noticing how that feels. Both sits bones are still firmly planted on in your chair. And then we'll inhale that arm up nice and long and just let it float all the way down with a long, long, long breath. Beautiful. And then this arm gets a chance to float all the way up. Your heavy arm at the bottom starts to get a little heavier and you start to curve over to that side. Beautiful. Both of your hips are steady and on the ground, so you have balance, but you're feeling that lengthen from your hip to your armpit to your fingertips as you breathe into this left side of the body. Mhm. And we'll inhale, lengthening all the way up to the top, and exhale all the way down. We'll just take some turns here. So just kind of coming from side to side, breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. So this is something you can do almost anywhere, just kind of rocking from side to side. It opens up the side of your lungs. It opens those muscles that um, help to breathe your lungs all along the edge of your ribs. Beautiful. I'll do one more to this side and then come back to both hands next to you and just roll your shoulders a little bit backwards and forwards. And let those arms float back out to a T. The thumb is up, your fingertips are pointing towards either side. I'm going to take a little inhale. With the inhale, let the arms float back a little bit. So the arms are coming kind of behind you. And it might just be a little tiny movement, or it might be a bigger movement. So you're opening your heart, opening your chest to the front with your inhale. With the exhale, now let those arms come around. Let one arm cross over the other and kind of get like you're giving yourself a big hug. Yeah, beautiful. I'll just pause here for a moment, kind of going back and forth. This really helps to open up the back of your body. And as your arms are giving this hug, you can kind of tuck your chin and curve the spine a little bit. So I'm just bringing the elbows in towards your belly. And then as we inhale, lengthening the spine again, and then letting the arms come back out to a T. So inhaling out to a T, looking up to the sky, letting the shoulder blades slide together in the middle of your back. And then exhale, let the other arm cross on the top. Yeah, let the other arm come to the top. And give yourself a little hug, tucking the chin, tucking the belly, curling all in into a little ball. And then inhale, lengthening all the way out again. Beautiful. Inhaling all the way out. Yeah, and looking up to the sky. And then exhale, curving in. Inhale, coming all the way out. And exhale in. And this can be as slow or as fast as you want. You can do it fast where you're just kind of going in and out, in and out. That feels okay, or nice and slow. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. And some days it feels good to do it fast, and then other days you're like, I think I'd rather have it slow. But what we're doing here is we're opening up the front of the chest and we're opening up the back. So it's that beautiful movement of the spine where we're kind of curving the spine one way and the other. And then pause next time you have a little hug. So even when we give ourselves a hug, like when we give someone else a hug, we release, it lowers our cortisol levels and brings on all these happy hormones. But even giving yourself a little hug can help. So sometimes during the day, feeling a little stressed out or whatever, sometimes before meetings, I'll just give myself a nice big hug. It feels good. It feels good if Ted's not around for a big hug. And then let those arms come down and just notice how you feel. Maybe just let hands come to your lap and let your eyes close. And just notice how you feel in your body, in your lung area. Just notice the breath coming in and out. And you might notice a difference in the ease of your breath just by opening up the side body a little bit, just by opening up the front and the back of the chest. And just notice what you feel. No right or wrong. And then let the eyes flutter opened again, hands down by your side. Then we'll float back up to a T. This time we're going to do a little twist with the T. So we're going to take the body over to one side, the arms over to one side, and keeping them almost like if you had a stick or something coming from one set of fingers to the other. So the arms stay nice and long. And then just come one way, just letting your torso twist one way, coming back to center, and then the other way. So your arms kind of stay out to the side as you just flow back and forth. So you're just giving a little twist to the spine one way and then the other. You can also have your hands on your hips for this. So just kind of keeping your shoulders across from each other. So we're not like really, the shoulders aren't coming in towards your belly. They're staying nice and long. Yeah, that's it. And then that head can track with it. And you can even, kind of try to glance back over the back shoulder. So you're just giving a little twist. You should feel some like loosening up of the muscles, maybe little creaking and cracking of the spine and the back. Beautiful. And then we'll come back to center, let the arms come down. So just to review, so in a short amount of time, you can do those 7 movements of the spine. So, we're doing this one where we're going to the side. Yeah. And then the other side. Beautiful. All the way down. And then we're doing the hug. So we're reaching back, looking up to the sky, giving a hug one way, letting the cross of the hands come to the opposite way. So opposite hand on the top, back to a T, and then a nice twist from side to side. Beautiful. So let's inhale the arms all the way up, all the way down to heart center. Beautiful. So in less than a minute, you can do all 7 movements of the spine, and it's just a nice way to wake up. Just anytime you're sitting, even after dinner, before dinner, you can just do that, and it just kind of opens everything up all throughout your torso. We're going to practice some of that 3-part breath. So if you'd like, you can have one hand on the belly and one hand on your chest if that feels comfortable. Letting your eyes gently close. Feeling rooted and grounded again, feet on the earth, hips sinking in, shoulders dropping away from ears, and the crown of the head reaching up to the sky. Invite your breath to come into your belly, really softening the belly, letting the belly breathe, feeling the hand that's on the belly move in and out. As you bring the breath in, as you exhale, you can pull the belly button in a little bit further so that more air comes out. So maybe kind of feeling like you're pulling the belly button in towards your spine and then up a little bit so that all the air goes out. And then letting the next breath happen, the next inhale happen. So inhaling as far as you can and then exhaling, really getting the last of the breath out by pulling that belly button in and up. Blowing that belly up like a balloon. Beautiful. The next time the belly is filling the breath, when you get to a certain point, you can allow the belly to come into that midsection. So it's coming right into the ribs. Let the ribs flare out to either side. And then let the breath float all the way up into the top part of your lungs. So maybe you'll feel that upper hand coming out a bit, floating out. When you get to the very top of your breath, allow the breath to start to pour back out. So pour from the top, middle, bottom, squeezing that belly button in towards your spine. And when all the air is out, allow the next inhale to happen. Softening the belly, softening the ribs, softening all the way up to the collarbone. And then exhale back out, starting at the top, middle, bottom. And this time we'll still take the breath in through the nose. So in through the nose for the belly, the side body, all the way up to the top. And then let's exhale through the mouth. So almost like you're blowing out a candle, we'll blow out the breath from front to the top, the middle, and the bottom. Inhaling again through the nose. So just do this at your own pace, filling gently all the way up, pausing, and then exhale through the mouth. Let's do two or three more of those at your own pace. So just filling, stretching out the lungs, the ribs, letting it all go. Do one more full round wherever you are in the round. And then after the next exhale, just allow your hands to come back to your lap, keeping eyes gently closed, and just notice how you feel. You might feel some tingling in the fingertips. You might still feel some energy moving in the body. And you may feel like a still, quiet spot in the middle, the place where you're just watching everything else happen, the seat of the watcher, the witness, the observer. Just notice that place as you watch the breath, watch the energy flow in your body. Relaxing shoulders and jaw. Relaxing anywhere else where you might be holding some tension. Letting it all go. No place to go, nothing to do in this moment, but breathe your breath. You can allow the eyes to gently open. We're going to try what I think is a new breath for us. So, you can put both your hands on the belly. The breath is going to be like a breath that you would use to blow out a candle. So, and the breath is going to happen. So, we're going to forcefully have a little exhale. And then the inhale is just going to happen on its own. So, we're not going to think about the inhale. So, we're not like sucking air back in. So, we're just like blow out the candle, the air is going to come back in. Blow out the candle, the air is just going to come back in. And this blowing of the candle comes from your belly. So when the air goes out, you're doing that from your belly. Yeah. So it's like a sharp breath, like blow out a candle. And you might not be able to hear mine because I think the headset like cancels the noise. So you'll see me doing it, but you might not hear me. Sometimes it lets you hear, but a lot of times you can't hear it. So it's just that breath where your belly is coming in, like we do at the end of the exhale. So the belly is coming in towards your spine, and that's basically forcing the air out of your lungs. So we'll try like 5 of those together. So you can take a nice deep inhale through the nose, long exhale through the mouth, let it all go. And then we'll try a round of this. So take an inhale. Begin with the blowing out the candles. Beautiful. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. How did that feel?
Good.
Okay. So that kind of strengthens your diaphragm. And it's called the skull polishing breath. It's called Kapalabhati, the skull polishing breath. So if you ever have like where your mind is like racing all around and you do a few rounds of that, it just kind of clears everything out. It just like polishes the top of your skull so your mind is clear and all those thoughts aren't running around. So we're going to try to do that for about 10 this time. Like doing 10, 15, 20, like that's a good number. But it can if it makes you feel at all like a little dizzy or a little like it's too much, then you can just back off. Just you could do 5 or 4. So as I'm doing the 10, if you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, then just take a nice deep breath and a nice deep exhale. So it's not something you have to do. Just being gentle with your body, especially until it kind of gets used to like, what is this breath? What are we doing? All right, so sitting up nice and tall, you can have a hand on your belly if that helps to remind you to kind of pull that belly in. So it's like it's short breaths. So we'll take a nice deep inhale, long exhale through the mouth just to get ready. Take a nice deep inhale, and we'll begin blowing out that candle. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, long exhale, long sigh through the mouth, and just pause for a moment. Notice if you notice that expansiveness, more of an expansiveness in your mind and in your body. Maybe a little more clarity, a little more connection. We're going to do one more round of 10 of that, if that feels okay for you. So always prepare with taking a nice deep inhale through the nose, long exhale through the mouth, clear everything out. A little sigh, relax shoulders. Inhale through the nose and begin to blow those candles out. Inhale big, inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. And just sit for a moment. You may feel some spaciousness, some quiet, centering. Just notice what you feel. You can let eyes flutter open. How did that feel? What did you notice?
I did notice more centering.
Okay. 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 Awesome. Awesome. It's a great breath. It's a fun one. And you can do this one almost anywhere too. Sometimes I'll just do 5 of them. I'll just be like, I feel a little better. It just kind of like gets everything centered. So let's just take a nice deep inhale with arms all the way out to the side. And maybe fingertips touch overhead, and let's let the hands come right to heart center. Beautiful. We'll do one more like that. Inhaling all the way up, and exhaling right to heart center. Just kind of centering in. Hands can come down. We're going to practice that sipping in a little more air. So what we'll do is we'll do that 3-part breath. We'll fill up all parts. And then when we get to the top, we'll just sip in a little more air. So maybe 3 times just to see if we can get as more air in. And then we'll exhale. We'll let it all come out. And then we'll blow out, kind of like you were blowing out the candle. We'll blow out a little more air, a little more air, a little more air. And then we'll pause for a moment, and then we'll try that again. So it's just kind of practicing. And again, if you feel at all like, oh, I want to just exhale, or I just want to inhale, just do it, right? It's not, we're not trying to restrict your breath in any way. We're just trying to like expand things out a little bit. And sometimes our mind gets stuck thinking, oh, this is all the air that I can breathe in. Like I only ever breathe this much air in. That's all I can breathe in. But this just reminds us like, oh, there's more capacity. Like there's so much more capacity in our lungs. And we talked last time about how typically we only use about 30% of our lung capacity. And this just like gets us to remember that we have a lot more room in our lungs to breathe in and to breathe out. So if we sit up nice and tall, we'll start with our 3-part breath. So we'll fill the belly, fill the midsection, fill all the way up to the top. When you get to the top of your breath, pause and then sip in a little more breath through your nose, a little more breath, a little more breath, a little more breath. Pause and then exhale from the top all the way down, top, middle, Pull that belly button in towards your spine. When you feel like all your breath is out, then we're going to blow the candle out and just exhale a little more breath. So exhale a little more, a little more, a little more. Pause, and then start your inhale again. So filling the belly, filling the ribs, filling all the way up to the top. And then when you have all the air in, sip some more in through your nose. Pause, and then pour that breath out from the top, the middle, bottom. Pull the belly button in, hug the ribs in. When we get to the as much air as you can get out, and we're going to blow a little bit more out. And take a nice deep inhale all the way up through your nose. Just one clearing breath. Exhale it all out through your mouth. Just let it go. And just notice how you feel. Those couple rounds of that 3-part breath with the sipping extra air in and out. You can let your eyes flutter opened. How did that feel? Could you feel the difference? And then could you get a little more in?
A little bit.
Okay, okay. And that's all. It can just be a little tiny bit, just like a little more, a little more, a little more. And maybe you only get a little more the first time with the first, and then afterwards you're like, there's no more room. And that's okay. It's just to practice getting that little bit of extra, it's just a little micro movement of more breath in. How about the exhale? How did that feel? Getting a little bit more out. Did that feel okay?
Yes, I got more out.
Okay. Okay, good, good. So that again is just a practice. And you can do that anytime you're doing your 3-part breath. If you'd like, you can just try to just do a couple more sips, or when you're even doing your normal breath. So, you're just sitting in the car breathing, you take an inhale and then you're like, okay, I'm going to try to breathe in a little bit more. You exhale and try to breathe out a little bit more. That's all it is. And it can be through that sipping, like where you're rhythmically doing it, or it can just be like just blowing out a little more. It's either way is perfectly fine. I want to practice now, like doing a longer inhale than our exhale, a longer exhale than our inhale. So this is again good for lung capacity, and it's also good for resetting our central nervous system. So if we're feeling a little frazzled about anything, just that longer exhale just lets your nervous system know everything is okay. Everything is okay. So we can practice this in a number of different ways, but I like to practice it with movement. So we're going to practice it with moving our arms. So we're going to inhale to the count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We bring the hands together, and then we're going to exhale to the count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you might be at the end of your inhale before the 8, and that's okay. Just wherever the end of your inhale is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just pause. How did that feel? Was it too long of an exhale, or could you
No.
exhale twice as long? You could exhale twice as long? Okay,
Yes.
that's great. And you can play around with that. So you can do inhale to 5, exhale to 10. You just kind of doubling it. And on some days you might be like, that's not working. And then you just do 3, inhale 3, exhale 6. So just kind of doubling that. And I'd like to do it with movement, but you don't have to do it with movement. We could just do it. We could just do it seated. So let's try a couple rounds just seated, and you can either have one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, or just both hands on your lap or on your thighs. And this time we'll try it. So you can do both of them in and out your nose, or we can do inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. So let's try that way. So take a nice deep inhale, long exhale, just to release everything. Relax your shoulders, relax your toes, relax your jaw and your eyes and your ears. Everything's relaxed. And then we're going to begin with a count of 4 through the nose. So 1, 2, three, four. Exhale through the mouth. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Pause and then inhale through the nose. One, two, three, four. Exhale slowly. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Pause. Inhale for four. Really bringing a lot of air in. Two, three, four. Exhale. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Do one more round. Inhaling, two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. And then just let your breath go back to its normal inhale and exhale, keeping your eyes closed and just pausing for a moment right here. Notice how you feel. Just allow the breath to breathe your lungs, allow the lungs to breathe your breath, just feeling freedom in the front, the back, the sides of your ribs. Breathing all around your heart. Imagining the heart expanding in every direction. The heart softens in the front and the back and expands. The heart softens to the right and the left, expanding. Noticing the heart expanding above and below the heart. And the whole sphere all around the heart just expands as you just gently breathe your breath. Maybe imagining or noticing a bright light in the center of the heart, and just let that light move throughout your body, finding any places that maybe are a little sticky or stuck or uncomfortable today, and just let that beautiful light just go to that place with some love and compassion and gentleness. Imagine that heart energy, the light of your heart, expanding out beyond your body in all directions. As you exhale, you're sending love out into the world. So needed right now. Beaming your beautiful love from your amazing heart all out into all those that need to feel some love and compassion for themselves right now. Breathing love into the world. Gentle pulsing flow of love. Bringing that light back into the heart center. Back to this moment and this breath. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes a little bit. Maybe rocking head side to side. Taking a nice deep inhale, long exhale. Beautiful. Letting your eyes open. I'm going to teach you one more breath today. Come in a little closer. I need wheels on my chair that I can wheel myself around. So we're going to do it's a square breath, And this is a breath we teach a lot of times in schools, in hospitals, in the workplace. I teach this all a lot. And it's just a breath that you can do pretty much anytime. It's kind of a balancing breath, but it's also just an awareness, kind of an awareness breath. And you can, we're going to draw a square just in the air. But you can also draw the square on a piece of paper. Like, if you have paper, you can draw a square there and do the breath that way. So we'll do it in a couple different ways. But the breath is really just about inhaling, holding, exhaling, holding. So we'll be inhaling across the top of the square. We'll be holding our breath and then exhaling along the bottom and then holding our breath. So back to the top. So it's just inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And we'll do that together. I'm going to do it for a count of 4. But this is one of those things you can kind of play around with. If the count of 4 feels good and you're just like, I'm going to try the count of 5, or I'm going to try the count of 6, you can just, make your square a little bigger, or, count a little, just move your finger a little slower. So if we do it together, it's just breathing in and out of your nose, unless, exhaling through your mouth feels better for you. But we're going to inhale for 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You want to try it? Put your finger up in the air. Do you have okay, awesome. Good. So we're going to start. We're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Inhale across the top, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. How does that feel? It's just to
Good.
kind of, it just helps your mind, I think, focus on it. And then you can do the same thing with, with the paper and pencil. So you can inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. It's just kind of I think the idea is that, by moving your finger, you're really getting your breath engaged in the whole thing too. And you can do it without doing a square. Sometimes if I'm like, having a difficult conversation with like the grandkids or my daughter or something, I'll just draw one on my hand. Just be like, and it just feels good. I just feel like I get a little centered. I pause before I say something that I might regret. I just kind of like, it's like a good little centering breath. And I think it's good to kind of play around with it just to see how the length of the breath that feels good for you. 4 is a really good place to start, and you might just stay with 4. But if you try to just do like a little bit longer inhale, a little bit longer hold, a little bit longer exhale, a little bit longer hold. So you can play with 4, you can go up to 6, whatever. There's no limit as far as what you can go up to, but you don't want to start to feel, dizzy or anything like that. So that's that breath. I think I have one more we'll close with, and then I'll stop the recording, and then we can have a little chat. Okay. So the other breath that's a nice breath is just if you take your hands and kind of interlace your thumbs like this, so that you one hand is, so if both palms face you, so both palms face you. So yeah, face you. Yep. And now just slide one in front of the other and hook in your thumbs. Yeah, so it looks kind of like a butterfly. And you can just set that right on your chest. Yeah, so like right over your heart. And then you tap your fingers onto your heart. Yeah. So this is just a really nice, gentle, calming, tapping, centering breath. It's almost like a hug. You're kind of giving your heart a little hug, and you can just close the eyes and just feel the breath. You're just giving little hugs, little pats to your heart, to your lungs. And just notice where your breath is in your body. Is it in your belly, your side ribs, your chest? Just notice. And you can, if you're tapping, you can pause the tapping and just let the fingers rest on your chest. Maybe allow your breath to be a circle. So you inhale, get to the top of the inhale, just exhale all the way around. And then begin your inhale right after the exhale. So you're inhaling and exhaling. The exhale just blends right into the inhale. The inhale blends right into the exhale. Inhale, melting into the exhale. Exhale, melting into the inhale. As you pause here with your breath, your beautiful breath, hands on heart, I'm going to read you the Raindrop poem again by Dana Faulds. Today, I am a raindrop on the surface of the sea, distinct but for an instant, then one with all that is or ever will be. Allow your eyes to open. Beautiful. Thank you for practicing. I'm going to stop the recording.